Bulavinaka, and leading our sports segment this evening, the offload king, Leone Nakarawa, has been named captain of the Fiji Airways Flying Fijian side in the game against Canada this weekend. This is the first time that the 31-year-old has been given this responsibility, and he looks forward to leading his team this weekend.
All the glory and honor back to God. And I know it's not a easy task and responsibility. It'll be a hard one, but I thank the coach for believing in me to lead the national team, the Flying Fijian team, for this weekend game. But like I said, we are professional players. If all the individuals do their own responsibility really well, it'll make it easy for this week's game.
Nakarawa's new role will come with a lot of expectation, and the captain is also not underestimating the Canadian side. He is glad that the squad have a mixture of players, the experienced ones and also the new upcoming ones.
We don't underestimate any team. All teams are good teams, all teams are strong teams. I think the main work comes for the team this week is to work on a weakness from last week and try to improve this week. I think there's a lot of there's a good mix. We've got some old boys and some of the young boys. So the young boys coming through. I think for the young boys, it will be a good experience for them. It's a good learning experience because they will be the future Flying Fijian captain. They will be the future senior players in the team. So we've got a good mix, old and young boys. We're just trying to blend really well and get the bond together, so that come 2019 Rugby World Cup will be in a good shape.
The Flying Fijians have named a powerful side to take on Canada in the Pacific Nations Cup match this weekend. 11 changes have been made to the run-on team, which sees the return of Semi Randrandra and Eronisau. Both missed the last 3 matches for the Flying Fijians, while Joshua Tuisova also returns to the starting lineup after missing the last 2 games.
A strong team has been named for the second round of the Pacific Nations Cup. Fiji Airways Flying Fijians coach John Mackey has made changes to his matchday 23-member squad to take on Canada on Saturday.
We only took 27 players to Japan, so some of our PNC group of players were back here in Fiji training. So those players, everyone's in contention for selection this week. We can look to the squad and see some changes coming in this week.
Experienced props Kempisi Maafu and Penny Ravai start in the front row, together with Netasiri Rugby hooker Ratu Veremalua Vungakoto. In the forwards, star lock Leone Nakarawa has been given the captaincy role, with skipper Domenico Wanganimborotu takes a break after playing 3 consecutive matches. Tevita Ratuva and Pedeliato strengthened the pack together with Semi Kunatani and Vilame Mata, who retained their places in the run-on team. In the backs, Henry Seniloli is at half-back, while Josh Matavesi comes in at number 10. Fan favourite Semi Randrandra starts with Chale Vatumbua in the centre, while the sledgehammer Eronisau and Joshua Tuiseva play on the wings with Kini Murimuri Valu in the full-back position.
Sort of the welcome return of Semi Randrandra to the midfield. It'll be exciting to see him, and I'm really looking forward to having Semi back in the team. He came off a slight injury from his European club and has been on a rehabilitation program and regeneration program. So he's 100% ready to go. Joshua Tuisova, who also played the first game against New Zealand Maori and has been on a separate program for the last 2 weeks. He returns to the squad as well. So a couple of exciting players there and some good firepower on our back line. But it's not just about individual players. It's how those players gel in, the combinations with the players around them. That's what's really important for us.
Tevita Davumbati and Nicola Matawalu have been named on the bench and are expected to add more firepower in the last 40 minutes. Mackey is anticipating a tough encounter against Canada on Saturday.
One of the big things for us is for our players to understand their role in the game plan and our defensive strategies and our attacking plays. So firstly, they need to understand their role well and what their job is, but they also need to be able to execute that those roles under the pressure of Test match rugby. So on an individual level, we're just really trying to make sure that our players do understand their roles in the game, and then through our team trainings, prepare them to be able to execute them in the game. So for me, that's what we're really looking for is individuals who play within the team systems. Yes, we've got talented players and we've got some great ability as players, but it's not about the individuality and to win the biggest Test matches. It's about how the whole team gels together.
Fiji Airways Flying Fijians will round off their preparations with a captain's run tomorrow. They face Canada at 5:15 p.m. on Saturday at the ANZ Stadium in Suva. Irfan Khan, PG1 News.
This weekend's World Rugby Pacific Nations Cup edition promises to be one of the most competitive and fascinating to date, with 4 participating teams ready for this weekend's game. But for the USA Eagles, they look forward to taking on Manu Samoa come match day at 2:30 p.m. this Saturday. Solomon Erumbulu reports.
It's going to be a very physical game against Samoa this Saturday, as they had played really well against their last week's opponent Tonga at a beer park in Samoa last week. USA Eagles assistant coach Greg McWilliams says they are now looking into perfecting their game plan against the Manus for this week.
Yeah, look, Samoa is going to be a very physical game. They played at a good pace. We flew in yesterday. We had a big travel day. Our hotel is directly across from the field, so it's good for the boys to get out today and work on some of our processes for the weekend. It's going to be a physical game, it's going to be a fast game, and hopefully our players will be ready to compete against that.
McWilliams says there were few lessons learned from the game against Canada last week, and they were working on perfecting their game plan for this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've gone through a 5-week pre-season like most teams have. I think our attacking shape was good, but I think our execution was poor. And certainly from my point of view, in my position, I'd like that to be better. I think Jacques Ferry's come in as defence coach, and I thought our defence was tighter, but still there's big areas that we need to improve on. And Gary, who's the head coach, knows only too well the importance of getting our structures right going into the World Cup in Japan in September.
For Greg Peterson, he says that despite the short-time preparations for this week's game, he sure does looks forward to giving the Samoans a good game.
Yeah, okay, obviously, we've got a few guys who were injured after last week, and we've got a medical team and an S&C team. Their job is to make sure that we get the players back to play. So we're just being overly cautious about a couple of our starters to make sure that we're doing what's right for our process, and hopefully we can get those guys in the field on Saturday.
The USA Eagles will take on Manu Samoa at 2:30 p.m. this Saturday at the ANZ Stadium in Suva. Solomon Erumbulu, Fiji 1 News.
And Canada will go into this weekend's match against the Fiji Airways Flying Fijians carrying the underdog tag. The side has settled in well since arriving into the country and have been preparing well for the 2 matches that they'll play in Fiji. Rugby Canada's assistant head coach Kingsley Jones is looking forward to seeing his players come together after losing to the US Eagles 47 points to 19 last weekend. Jones says Fiji will be a huge challenge as the PNC is part of their build-up to the Rugby World Cup.
Particularly here in Suva, and we didn't perform well last week. We felt in certain areas, lots of good things from us, and we're improving quickly. We have to, because it's a big test this weekend. Fiji are a very good side, and of course on the back of a defeat in Japan, in front of the home crowd, they'll be out to certainly put a few things right. So we expect a big challenge, but for us it's learning and growing and competing against the best teams. We want to play against the best individuals and the best teams so that we can keep improving, of course, to the Rugby World Cup. So we look forward to it, we're excited about it, but it's a big challenge for us.
Jones says the Pacific Nations Cup is a great team-building effort and there'll be plenty of learning the group will achieve out of the 3 test series.
It's a good question. It's actually right. We don't talk about it too much. It can seem like an excuse, but yeah, it's tough. But that's what these competitions are, and we've got to get on with it. I think we've got a double-day training today, so I think that's good for us. The things that get compromised, obviously, is like the unit things, like line-out attack and defence, and those things where you need everybody on the same page. And unfortunately, those things get compromised a little bit. I thought the USA game particularly, they look better prepared than us. Which makes sense. They've been together 5 weeks with all their coaches, and we've been together 5 days and and to travel. So those are some of our challenges. But there's teams right throughout the competition that have the same challenges. So we work hard this week, but the real important thing for us is to be really excited about the opportunity to play against, a really good Fiji team in Fiji.
Canada last met the Flying Fijians back in 2017 when they lost 57 points to 17, and this will be their chance to hit back as they have been preparing hard towards the tournament. The 2019 Inc. Mobile Battle of the Giants tournament has been rescheduled yet again. This was confirmed by Fiji Football Association Chief Executive Officer Mohammed Yusuf. The Fiji FA president and a few board members had an emergency meeting in view of the continuous wet weather conditions in Nosori, and in consultation with the Nosori Town Council, they have decided to shift day 3 of the Inc. Mobile Battle of the Giants matches to Sunday. This means that the 4 pool games that was called off last week will now be played on Sunday, with the semi-finals and final scheduled for August the 10th and 11th.
Emergency meeting this morning after getting reports from the referees director, the grounds committee and Nosori Town Council, whereby it was confirmed that the ground will not be in a playable condition come Friday afternoon. As a result, we had no choice but to shift the day 3 matches to Sunday 4th August, starting at 11 a.m. with Nandi Nasinu, Lotoka Lambasa Tavua at 1, Lotoka Rewa at 3 and 5 Suvaba.
The Ghanaian-born Fiji boxer Joseph Kwajo and Savinathan Aliva will once again enter the ring in 3 months' time. Both penned a deal with the South Pacific Boxing Promotions dubbed matchup the Revenge Battle of Bad Blood. There will be 3 title fights at stake in the program scheduled for the 26th of October at Nandi's Prince Charles Park.
The rematch has been dubbed as unfinished business. Both fighters, Joseph Kwajo and Savinathan Aliva, hope to complete that come October after signing contracts with the South Pacific Boxing Promotions.
This is a fight most of people in the country they're waiting for because of what happened last few months ago. So I'm really appreciate about the fight is happening again on October 26. I have nothing much to say, just both of the boxers, we're gonna be preparation, be focused to October 26.
Will fight on the light heavyweight title as it's dubbed as the Revenge Battle of Bad Blood.
We want to thank God for giving us this opportunity back. Come and let us have it back into the ring since we haven't finished last fight. And we want to thank South Pacific Boxing Promotion, and also want to thank Kwajo. We really appreciate the way he agreed to have a written match with us. And also in the ring, we'll wait when the decision is done.
Team Kwajo manager Sudesh Kumar says it will be an interesting battle after the deal was signed.
Team Aliva and all the other fans who are really waiting for this program to happen on 26th. Yes, it will happen, and we are fully prepared to bring the belt to Suva, and let's see everybody there.
There will be 2 more title fights on the program, where Ratu Rokora Dauni Vavanga and Chese Ravundi will fight for the vacant super welterweight title, while Petrongida will defend his heavyweight title with his opponent yet to be named. Irfan Khan, Fiji 1 News.